Mr. Shepherd is a schools inspector who turns up at school with his daughter and then gets kicked in the head by a donkey and completely loses his memory and forgets that he has a daughter, forgets what Christmas is, and forgets that he's getting married to Catherine Tate on Christmas Eve in New York. So Mr. Poppy, with the aid of the children, reteach Mr. Shepherd his life via the medium of flash mobbing.
Obviously, I mean, this is the third in the Nativity series. Were you a fan of the first two, and how do you think this one compares to the previous instalments?
I've seen numbers 1 and 2 and I loved them. I laughed out loud. I haven't seen this one, so I can't tell you.
What was it about the project that made you want to get involved?
Because I enjoyed the first two, because I've never done anything improvised before, and there aren't that many jobs around over Christmas.
And what was the experience of improvising like, particularly working with a young cast?
Really scary to begin with, but then you sort of just get battered down. And because I played someone who has no memory, I was never even told where we were going or what was going to happen every day. I just turned up afresh. And once you got over the initial fear, it's quite a refreshing way of working.
Of course, big and little kids love Mr. Poppy. What was it like working with Mark?
Mr. Poppy is Mr. Poppy. It was terrific. Very, very funny. I laughed an awful lot.
Obviously, you and Neil were back together, albeit briefly, for the Feeling Nuts campaign. What was it like for you guys to be working together, albeit very briefly again?
It was great because we've remained friends, and it was like no time had passed at all. It felt very familiar to be slumped on a sofa with a can of beer in our hands.
Of course, I mean, we've seen a lot of great TV series revive. Do you think Men Behaving Badly would ever have a place back on TV screens?
I don't know.
I mean, is it something you'd be interested in if the idea was out there?
I'm 53 next month.
What else you got coming up? I think you've got an Arthur Conan Doyle project you can tell us about.
That's right, yeah, I'm nearly finished. Well, I've got a few more weeks left on that. That's coming out next year on ITV1. I've got a documentary called Man and Beast, which we're just finishing off. And then next year I'll start another series of Doc Martin.
What are you looking forward to about going back to Doc Martin? Obviously, it's a character that we've come to know and love over the years.
Yeah, well, I love doing it. I love being down in Cornwall and working with all those guys and just sort of getting to do what we do outside the M25 is nice.
You mentioned there the documentary. Can you just tell us a bit about that, Man and Beast? What's that all about?
Man and Beast is about sort of various relationships humans and animals have around the world. We were in Japan and Nepal and Thailand and at home on my farm and with my horses and sheep and cows and relating them to the other sheep and cows and horses around the world.
Do you have a message to fans about this film and why they should be making sure they don't miss out on Nativity Free this Christmas?
Yes, go and see it. It's going to be really funny. I haven't seen it.